Well, this week, two headline acts joined the race for US president. Jeb Bush hopes to follow his father and his brother and turn the White House into his family home.
Well, he'll be challenged for the Republican nomination by businessman Donald Trump. He famed of "You're fired." His billion-dollar balance sheet is also famous, and his candidacy now confirmed. To take a look at the Republican race, we're joined by Brendon O'Connor from the US Study Centre. And Brendon, let's start with the serious candidate, perhaps. Jeb Bush says, "I will run to win." He'd have to be among the serious contenders.
Yeah, I mean, Jeb with an exclamation mark. I suppose he's trying to suggest he's a fun candidate. He's not completely staid and traditional. He largely is. I mean, he's the candidate of the establishment. He's, in some ways, the sort of brainier of the two sort of Bush brothers, the straighter of the two, the one that always had ambitions to go into politics, and everyone was surprised when George W. Bush was the one who emerged first as a governor in Texas and then as president. So Jeb has been sort of waiting his whole life for this moment. Donald Trump, on the other hand, I largely don't take him seriously. This is a publicity stunt. He's finally actually officially entered the race. He'll be on the debate stage, which will be a major irritant to the party and the other candidates, and he'll get a lot of publicity, but I don't think he's a serious political figure.
Now, let's talk about Jeb. So he has been former governor of Florida. What else does he bring? I mean, obviously he's going to have a challenge in terms of distinguishing himself from his father and his brother. But what else does he bring?
Well, he is a serious sort of policy nerd, what Americans call a wonk. He was someone who was very much in the weeds of many issues as someone who emerged politically in his career. And I know this because I read the letters that he sent to his father once when I went to the Bush Senior Library. I also read the letters from George W. Bush, and they were largely about baseball and sort of sleeping remedies. But Jeb, it was about deregulation, about hospital reform, about helping people that would help Jeb in the future for his political career. So he is someone, I think, a bit like Hillary Clinton, who's really into the sort of the details of the ideas, not a charismatic speaker, a pretty dull speaker in some regards. So he's got a lot of backing of the establishment of the party because he knows everyone, his father's connections, his brother's connections, which are good and bad. But he's someone who really hasn't had a good couple of months. I mean, his stocks have actually gone down, and he needed this announcement as a boost in some ways.
Now, I've read that his campaign team feels like it's going to have to win at least one of the first four primaries to really get a chance, and then that they feel comfortable if they can get through that because they say, only we are able to simultaneously fund TV ads onwards from March. Does that mean he is heavily backed financially, more so than the other candidates?
The networks that the family have are tremendous. The name recognition, I mean, he will not lack for money. This man will have, hundreds of millions of dollars for his campaign. But the worry is that in Iowa, that's where the first caucus is, that's the first testing ground before the primary in New Hampshire, that he could in fact finish fifth, some analysts are saying. So he might even want to skip that, say, well, I wasn't really trying in Iowa, and then win in New Hampshire or certainly in South Carolina. So he's definitely got to do well, as you say, early because the momentum really makes a difference. I mean, Rudolph Giuliani was a very serious candidate in 2007, 2008, won nothing early and faded disastrously. So you can't bank on later states. You've got to be in the limelight in those first couple of states, really.
So who are his biggest contenders? I mean, is Jeb even the front runner in the Republican race?
Probably not at this moment. I mean, Scott Walker, the governor of Wisconsin, has probably gone slightly ahead in terms of the betting markets, at least. I mean, it's ridiculously far out, but this is a powerful position and a position where the jockeying goes on for a long time. So Walker, more in kin with the hard right of the party, maybe the Christian conservative element of the party, will do well in Iowa. He hasn't announced, but it seems likely. And Marco Rubio's got a lot of attention. 44 years old, fresh-faced, sort of the JFK of the Republican Party, some are calling him. I think that's going too far, but he's probably a man of not enough substance to make that claim, but he is a charismatic figure.
All right, well, that's the serious analysis of the serious candidate who emerged this week, but as we indicated, there was another two. If politics is show business for ugly people, as they say, they've got a showman now in Donald Trump.
Well, he's a perfect example, isn't he? This is is, Trump has flirted with this idea many times around. He's got the media to gather around in previous campaigns, particularly in 2012, and say, I've got a big announcement to make. It's about an announcement that I've decided not to run. So this time I think that sort of game was over. The sort of boy that cried wolf had to produce the wolf running. He is running. He will, I think, provide some colour for the media in this. He'll definitely say things that make it hard for the other candidates because they'll have to answer questions of the very hypothetical nature, which sometimes you want to steer away from. So he will add something to the debates, but I think overall in a negative way. He's not someone, I think, who improves the quality of American politics.
All right, well, we'll just have to wait and see how he does turn out with everything that we can expect. It is a long run out, as you said, so plenty more to come. Brendon O'Connor from the US Studies Centre, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you.